For hundreds of years we have worn clothes and developed better fabrics to maintain our heat. We have confided in the warmth of our homes and avoided the cold as much as physically possible. We have settled for living comfortably, never really testing our boundaries. To keep our bodies strong, we need to train ourselves in nature. The cold is a powerful voice with a wise lesson. With the right adaptation, we can bring back control over the internal workings of our body. This is a quote from the book Becoming the Iceman, which is based on the life of Wim Hof. He has been known throughout the world as the Iceman through his feats and numerous world records in the cold, including things like staying in a container with ice water for almost 2 hours, or running a marathon in temperatures way below freezing, wearing nothing but shorts. The cool thing about this guy, though, is not necessarily his amazing feats in the cold, but rather that he claims that anyone can do this if they train themselves properly. And the positive effects of it are enormous. Not only can you control your own bodily temperature, this will also greatly improve your blood circulation and train you to influence your autonomic nervous system as well, all of which greatly helps you prevent and fight all kinds of modern diseases. So how do you train for this? Well, Wim presents the training in 3 different methods. The first one being breathing exercises. Now, breathing exercises can have numerous effects on your body and your mind, depending on how you do them. And there are countless of ways of doing them. Wim's methods involve inhaling and exhaling quickly but deeply, so into your stomach, about 30 times or so. And then taking a big breath in and then all the way out, and you hold it out for as long as you're comfortable. I don't know, maybe 30 seconds is reasonable, or less or more, whatever. And then you take a big breath in and you hold it for about 10 seconds. So after that you have done 1 round, and you do 3 exactly like this, and then you do one last one where you hold your breath in instead, which is usually a lot easier. You can do it for a lot longer. I'd say you can probably do it for a minute even without any practice, actually. So yeah, that's the first one, breathing exercises. The second method is meditation. Now, Wim doesn't really go into it too much in the book. He kind of just tells you to practice it, but I do happen to have a lot of experience with it. So, and if you guys want to, I can expand on this in another video, but I'll just explain shortly here. So most people think that meditation is kind of sitting still and thinking nothing, and that isn't quite correct. I would say meditation is more about just being present in the moment, doing kind of whatever you're doing. It can be expressed in many, many different ways, and the easiest, to me anyway, is just sitting still and focusing on your breath for about 15 minutes. It usually puts me right in this state. So, but in the beginning this can be kind of difficult, so a guided meditation is usually a lot easier. So I might record some for you in the future if you guys want to. In this, you will be guided through different things to focus on, usually in your imagination, which will hopefully put you into a state of meditation. You can also get into the state while doing a lot of other things, like long distance running is pretty common, and I'm convinced that Wim gets it while being present in freezing temperatures. Anyways, let's move on to the third method, which is what makes Wim so unique. It's the cold exercises, of course. Now, you don't have to do them nearly as extremely as he does to get a lot of the positive effects out of them. In fact, he even says that you can do the first or second exercises here, and that's enough for most people. And the first one is just taking a cold shower right after you have taken a hot one. So first you warm up your body with hot water, and then you put on the cold. I've practiced this myself, and it's quite a shock the first time you do it, of course. But you do get used to it. Just keep breathing slowly and confidently, and soon it will feel normal, maybe even warm. Practicing this method alone for a few minutes per day can have great effects on your cardiovascular system, especially if you're prone to disease in this area. The next step is kind of the same thing. You're taking a cold shower, but without the hot one. So this is significantly harder, but very doable for just about everyone, I think, with just a little bit of practice. Your perspective and your attitude about the whole thing matter a lot, though. So if you're resisting, your body will kind of block your progress. So try to relax into the cold and befriend it. It may also help to visualize warmth coming from your core, just to get your body producing even more heat, although it isn't quite necessary. Eventually you can start adding your breathing exercises to this as well. After all of this has become relatively easy, now is the time to start practicing outside in the winter time. First, just kind of sitting in the snow, preferably with as little clothing as possible, because it makes it easier for your body to adjust this way. Then you can move on to walking barefoot in the snow or even running. Honestly, in my own experience though, running is easier because you generate more heat naturally that way, although it will be cold first, obviously, especially your hands and your feet will be pretty cold. But if you try any of this, you'll be surprised at how quickly your body learns and adapts. Maybe you won't even last like 30 seconds the first day, and then the next day you can do a couple of minutes, and then you can do 5 minutes, and then maybe 10 minutes, and so on. So it usually improves quite rapidly. So in short, he recommends breathing exercises because they give you control. He recommends meditation because it gives you awareness and inner wisdom. And lastly, he recommends cold exercises because they give you experience. They also condition your body, improving your cardiovascular health, which is basically training all of the muscles in your arteries because they have to transfer all the warm blood to heat up your cold body parts. Wim isn't the only teacher, by the way, that teaches you to endure or even enjoy the cold. There is an entire tradition oriented around it called Tumo, but I find Wim's methods both better and way more accessible for Westerners. Wim is also on a journey to prove to science that anyone can learn to do what he does. And this is about much more, by the way, than just enduring the cold. It's also enduring or even curing diseases, for example. Firstly, he managed to control his immune system while scientists injected him with a kind of fake poison, which normally makes people very ill. And he got by without any real symptoms at all. Then he trained 12 people to do the same thing, while the control group, as expected, got very ill. This can be very helpful in the future for fighting off all kinds of diseases. So why don't you get a head start and learn these methods already today? If you want to learn more about the Iceman, I unfortunately wouldn't recommend the book Becoming the Iceman because, well, it is a rather tedious read. It's written like a 15-year-old's essay, and mostly because of some other guy who's written like half the book. He's writing about all kinds of nonsense that has nothing to do with anything really, and most of the book's message could be summarized in a couple of chapters. However, there is a ton of information online, and the information in this video alone will get you very far actually, so now it's all about practicing it. However, if you want to understand Wim better, and maybe to get some backstory, the book can be completely fine, although I would recommend just reading Wim's part and not Justin's part. That's just my personal preference. It has a lot of Wim's experiences and his thoughts around them, so you can definitely understand him better and get deeper into his story. Yeah, so anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again in the next one.